woman jumped with all her might and landed on the only support point. She looked down at the 10,000-meter drop below and trembled with fear. She decided to take a sip of water to calm herself down. Then she stood up and tried to grab the rope in front of her, but it was still a bit too far away. In order to get back to the tower, Ruth took out her selfie stick and attached it to her backpack. She hung the backpack on the rope, and then Ruth made a daring jump. She grabbed the backpack hanging in midair and struggled to climb up. Alice pulled the rope with all her strength, and Ruth climbed up step by step. She was almost back on the tower, but then an accident happened. The girl fell. The rope was instantly stretched taut. Alice leaned out to look. Fortunately, Ruth was still hanging on the rope, but her hands were already raw and she couldn't continue climbing. Alice could only pull with all her might. To gain leverage, Alice secured the rope to a pillar. Fortunately, she eventually pulled Ruth up. Alice pulled a piece of paper out of her backpack, wrote down the location of the tower and a distress message, tied it to the drone, attempting to send the note to the inn below the mountain, but the drone ran out of power shortly after taking off. Alice had no choice but to let the drone fly back. Just as the drone was about to fall, Alice managed to catch it. They had run out of water and were about to face the danger of dehydration. At a critical moment, Ruth looked up and saw the signal light on the pole, so Ruth climbed up. Alice climbed to the top to power the drone, removed the signal light and plugged the drone's cable into it. The drone could now charge. Alice was overjoyed. After waiting a long time for it to fully charge, a vulture suddenly flew past Alice, startling her into rushing back to the platform. With only a few dozen meters left to the hotel, the drone was suddenly knocked away by a car. Alice watched helplessly as this happened. Alice was severely dehydrated. She looked at Ruth in despair, only to find her face covered in blood. It turned out that Ruth had already died when she fell from the tower. Alice had been imagining that she was still there. After regaining consciousness, Alice secured the safety rope and slid down the rope. Upon reaching the platform, she pulled out her phone and sent out a distress signal. Then she stuffed the phone into Ruth's shoe and pushed Ruth off the tower. After waiting for a long time, Alice's father and the police finally arrived. Alice was finally saved.